Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Tooele Happy Hour, starring Jared Anderson and David Weiss, where if head trauma had a podcast, it would sound just like this.
Now we've got Todd Nielsen on. Todd Nielsen is you're a firearms and tactics instructor, correct?
Yep.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the start of your company, where you're from, give us a rundown.
So I actually run two different training companies right now. One's Nielsen Training Consulting. And then I also own a training center in Springville called BPMF. It stands for Be Present, Mindful, and Fit. Little background on me. I did 25 years in law enforcement with the San Jose Police Department in California. There I did narcotics, prostitution, fugitive apprehension, human trafficking, and mobile field force, and just about any other special operations thing that I could get involved in, I got involved with. So it was a good thing. Unfortunately, I retired in 2015 due to an injury to my left hand where I lost the use of three fingers in a fight. And the department said, with all the other injuries that you have, that's it. Your time's up. We're going to put you out to pasture. And they retired me. So then I decided to move out here to Utah and rebuild Nielsen Training, and then kind of expanded it into doing a lot more preparedness type stuff. And then the opportunity to put BPMF together came up last year, and the four of us put that together, and then we partnered with a gym to include all the physical fitness training and everything along with that, along with the wellness training, and basically just make a place where we could build stronger communities, starting with our leaders and our first responders.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So if people, let's say someone wants to sign up for your training, what can they expect? Let's say they want to sign up for a tactical training. What kind of tactical training do you offer?
So I offer stuff from personal defense, home defense. Like literally, if you've never touched a gun before, I can start training you there. Or if you're special operations, military, or law enforcement, I can build on that and take you up into other specific levels. Like I've done contracts with SOCOM Pacific and the Atlantic Fleet, doing low light tactics and just your overall firearms usage, close quarters, room clearing, and those types of things with them also. So I'm pretty broad spectrum in what I can do. With the units that I was involved with the police department, we did everything from vehicle jams to hitting houses, hitting major organizations, doing cartel interruptions and all that kind of stuff too. So we did a whole lot of stuff. So the diversity of the things that I'm able to do just on my own side is quite expansive. But then I've also brought in, for the BPMF side of the house, I brought in a bunch of other instructors that are new instructors, also instructors that aren't in the military and law enforcement world, like Patrick Odell from Modern Civilian Combat. He does a bunch of hand-to-hand knife fighting, ground fighting. The guy's just amazing. I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, when I was on the teams, we'd bring guys in from IDF that would teach us and train us for Krav Maga and all that stuff. And Patrick's stuff just blows doors on it.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I haven't attended any of his stuff yet, but I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, if you get the opportunity, go train with Patrick, because it's amazing how effective his techniques are. And you don't have to break bones. You don't have to gouge eyes out and all that stuff to disable somebody, to give you a chance to get away. So the stuff that he's training with and the stuff that he's training people in is just super, super effective. He's actually working with Ron Maddock, one of my partners at BPMF, to put together a law enforcement specific defensive tactics program. We've got that together, and we're bringing it to a few local police departments in Utah County now. And then we're taking those same programs and we're civilianizing them, so to speak, so that all your physical hand-to-hand gun takeaway, knife takeaway, all that kind of stuff. So we're working with shock knives, paint marking pistols. So we're using Umarex, the T4E, the Glock 17s, where they shoot a paint projectile instead of a live projectile, and it's all run off of CO2 gas. So it's just like fighting for your own gun, and you can actually shoot the projectiles out. You get hit, then okay, we evaluate: is it a lethal hit or non-lethal hit, so on and so forth.
So it's like an advanced retention with a cost.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
Skin in
because
the game.
yeah, you definitely have skin in the game. You definitely have skin in the game.
Hey, let me ask you this: is the market changing right now? Like, have you seen different kinds of people asking for this kind of training?
Yeah, it's funny because like it used to be you'd get like the elite people that would want to sit there and go through the training processes and all that kind of stuff, where they would, they were like training junkies all the time, that it's all that they did was train. And you'd find out later that they're a spook and they're doing something for the government, and they're like, oh no, I'm just a computer guy. I just do this. I just do that. And I'm like, nah, bro, you don't talk like that. I've hung around with enough spooks that I've started
Never
to go.
mind that I drive a black Suburban. With
Yeah,
black
exactly.
Why do you got a squirrel patch on?
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of funny to sit there and go, okay, that's the type of people that we were training, and now I'm getting a lot more people that have just started to realize what's going on in the world, and they're going, I need to protect myself, I need to protect my family, I need to protect my wife, I need to protect my kids, my extended family. A good friend of mine, Dave Acosta, he used to run Fight Back Nation, and just before he died, literally 2 weeks before he died, we were like, hey, let's start putting together a program that you and I can collab on to start building a strong community, start building stronger communities. And I'm like, dude, let's get this rocking and rolling, and just started getting the initial stuff going. And then he died. So I'm like, oh man, dude, now what am I going to do? And literally this opportunity with BPMF came up, and we're going, okay, yeah, let's put this together now, because this is exactly what this was set up to do. This is what Dave and I were talking about doing. Let's make it happen. And literally last July, we opened doors, and we've already hit our 5-year plan.
Perfect.
Have you found any resistance from like the banking community to
Oh yeah.
come on, give me some details. This is the kind of stuff
You don't hit the ESG score for them?
Oh no, we do not hit the ESG score at all, because we promote self-reliance. We promote being strong individuals. We promote being financially secure. We promote all this stuff of you don't have to rely on anybody. You got to take care of yourself. Like literally yesterday, we're looking for a new point of sale system for BPMF, and then the first question I asked them, "Are you 2A friendly?" She's like, "What's that?" And she goes, I go, look, we are looking at selling ammunition. We do a lot of stuff with gun stuff. We are a personal defense company. We believe very strongly in personal defense. We believe very strongly in people being self-reliant. She goes, well, I don't know if our credit card processing companies support that or not. I go, before we go any further, I'm not going to waste your time. Don't waste my time. I've already run into this before. Let's just get that answered and get back to me.
Yeah.
She sends me an email. Oh, we can do everything that you need for your customer resource management. We can do all your point of sale stuff. We can do this. We can do this. We can have your subscriptions. We'll be able to do everything you can, but we can't. Our processing company won't allow you to sell ammunition. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. What do you want me to do? Have to get someone different just for that portion? Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
And I'm not dropping that portion from.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. Is there any banks or any of that you found to be friendly for all of that?
Not any big banks. Just put it that way. Like we use primarily credit unions. You know,
Have you reached out to? I know, like here in Utah, there's a cryptocurrency that's specifically designed for this process called Tusk. Have you ever reached out to any of those kind of communities?
I've never heard of that one.
Oh,
We're going to talk offline.
Yeah,
Hear about that one.
Tusk was designed with a lot of the two-way positive trades in mind. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's bring that on.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that'd be great.
well, I will make sure you get the information and get
Yeah.
in touch with them, because that's specifically what they're designed to do. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to just restrict it to two-way where,
Yeah.
but he
Because
does,
it's too niche of a community.
yeah, but he designed it with being two-way friendly on a crypto market.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it is.
Good
It
for
is
him.
very
and crypto is going to be the way we're all going to have to go to buy ammo pretty soon, the way things are going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
seriously.
coming from California, knowing all the drama that they can inflict for just purchasing ammo. I mean, literally there's states now in the union where if you don't own that caliber of gun, you can't buy that ammo.
Really?
Yeah.
Like they have you on like a register, you're allowed to buy 7.62 by 51.
Yep.
And your buddy can buy 5.56 and
Yep.
oh,
So if you don't own a 357 Magnum, you can't go buy a 357 Magnum. Oh, and here's the other kicker. If you give your friend ammunition,
it's
another law violation.
it's lauded back to you.
You have to have an FFL so me to hand you a bullet, I have to have a federal firearms license in order to be able to hand you a bullet to shoot my gun in.
Does that infringe? Is it that word infringe kind of like come into play there?
Yeah. Yeah. Just a lot.
You know what? Let's just go through where the government doesn't infringe. It'll be a shorter list.
It's true. It's very true.
You know, I mean, we could clear that list up in what, 7 minutes and then, break.
Yeah.
If we go over the infringement part. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny. I'm actually on the Firearms Policy Coalition's. I'm one of the plaintiffs in California for the magazine capacity law.
Good.
Because literally August 4th, 2015, I could have anything that I wanted. August 5th, 2015, I had to get rid of all of it.
You were made a felon overnight,
Yeah. Just because I retired.
Like what they've done with the brace, you know, like what they did with bump stocks. I mean, I'm going to say it like this. I've said this many times. The bump stock is a fool's toy.
Yeah.
It's going to make you very ineffective. You're going to miss a whole bunch and you're going to spend extra money.
Yes.
But you get people in political office that are uneducated on the subject, and then they come out with scary words that you know,
and that's what the media eats up. They go for the scary word, and the next thing you know, you can't have this because it sounds scary,
and they make you a felon overnight.
Yeah.
And that one was bad because it came from the president's desk. He's not supposed to write laws.
No.
This brace one is bad because I don't recall anywhere in the Constitution where the bureaucracy gets to write a law for me.
They're a law enforcement entity. They don't have the authority to write laws.
Says you guys.
They're supposed to enforce laws written to them.
They're doing it though, right?
Yeah. But they're doing it. Yeah.
I mean, magic happens.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part is somebody's going to have to be the crash test dummy to get arrested for it and then challenge it in court. And then, 10 years later, we might actually have a decision that's actually enforceable.
You want a water? We got a.
Oh, yeah, I'll take one. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and that's the bad thing is the bump stock ban just got declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, and it took 6 years. Had someone gone to jail for that, which this brace law, from what I understand, has up to a 10-year possible on it. they could be sitting in jail for 6 years.
Yeah.
You know, with all the fun times that comes with prison. You know, for them to say, okay, no, we're good. We'll,
Yeah.
you know, you're out now. Have a good day. You know.
Yeah, I think that's a violation of your rights.
You'd think
somewhere.
so. And then, I mean, do they even give you a notice that says, hey, your driver's license expired while you were in there? Before you drive home, you might want to go get that renewed.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, it's so frustrating when you sit there and think about all the different things that the little minor things that they're doing that you don't see the totality of it, you know, and coming from California, I see the writing on the wall. We're headed that same direction.
Yeah.
And unless we do something to change it, you know, and it starts with being active. Make sure that you're at all your city council meetings and then your county council meetings, and then go all the way to the state. Make sure that your state representatives know who you are and that you're not going to stand for this kind of stuff. And if you're going to act that way, then we're going to vote you out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we got to quit voting just the incumbent back in because he's the devil we know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so frustrating.
It is. Well, you ready for a tough question?
Sure.
Here's the hard one. So that Nashville shooting that just happened, the beginning
Monday.
of the week.
Yeah.
In your mind, what is your thoughts as an answer to that going forward?
An answer? Now, you mean to stop it?
To stop future shootings? Because you've heard people throw up the idea, well, we need to have a mental health check. But, you know, who's going to do the mental health check? And then how long before all of us veterans are considered too loony to buy a firearm? So, I mean, I'll pose my answer to it is we need to try to build up our community where fathers stay in the home. That's
absolutely. Absolutely. That's step number one.
And I think all other problems fall off the map once we do that.
Yep.
I mean, like make the women go to work and we stay home?
Sure. Sure. But no, we need to have a culture where if you're going to get a girl pregnant, you're going to stick around.
Yeah.
And if the girl's going to get pregnant. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Well, and that's a huge piece of it. I mean, literally, if we actually, as a community or as a nation, would actually sit down and go, okay, I'm going to respect life. If I just look at it and go, if I respect just life in and of itself, from there, I can go, okay, now to respect that life, like you said, you created a life. You got together, whether it was a one-night stand, whether it was a long-term thing or a short-term thing or whatever it is, you created this life. Now you've got to be responsible for it. If you don't want to live under the same roof, it's still time to take responsibility for it and be the father.
Yep. You broke it, you bought it.
Yeah. You know, and I know people that were married, ended up getting divorced. One lived in the basement and one lived in the upstairs, just so that their kids could still have a good, solid family relationship with each other, and it's still maintained. They said, yeah, it was tough the first year or so. And then the funny part of it is, like 3 years later, they got married again. You know, so it's just like, okay, how are we going to look at all this, and just where ultimately does this go?
Yeah.
Well, nowadays the parents of the shooters are going to jail for making sloppy gun decisions, and maybe even moderately sloppy gun decisions.
Well, and if they're leaving it open for the person to, if it's not their firearm, and if it's allowed, they have immediate access to it. Yeah, you know what? You are responsible for your firearms. With a firearm comes a tremendous amount of responsibility.
Yep.
You know, and it's like literally, I could take my Glock and I could set it on our kitchen table at our house, and it would sit there and collect dust.
Yeah.
Because my kids know that's Dad's gun. You just don't touch Dad's gun.
Yeah. You don't touch it. And
yeah. Then anytime they want to see it, I'll unload it, let them touch it, let them feel it, let them do whatever they want. If they want to go out shooting, okay, cool. We'll go up into the woods and we'll go shoot, or we'll go down to the range and we'll go shoot, so that there's no mystique with it at all. The biggest concern is I don't know what their friends do.
That's where it comes in.
Yeah.
But you train your kid can, I mean, I always taught my boy, you don't touch that. When it's time for that, you want to touch that, talk to me and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that's being a father.
Simple.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And my dad, we hardly did anything with firearms, and my grandfather was a police officer, so it's like weird, but
It was a different time back then, though.
Oh, yeah.
Guns right now are, and it's the push against them that's made them so popular. So
Yeah.
AOC,
yeah.
keep going, because you're just building my tribe.
Hey, I've said it 100 times. Obama was the best gun salesman ever.
Dude, hands down.
I don't know. I think Biden's going to have him beat.
Wasn't
yeah, it's
Remington
getting close.
Didn't Remington make him an award? Remington, their AR branch, I think, made Obama an award. He wouldn't accept it, but they made him one, like a plaque.
I wouldn't be surprised, and most gun manufacturers have very good senses of humor, and that's to me that's humorous. That's
Yeah, but I heard they'd made him a plaque, like an award.
Oh, that's awesome.
Salesman of the year or some crap for their AR division, and
that's awesome.
because he after he first come out, he's the one who coined, or it was under him, that assault rifle. No, it was actually under Reagan.
Yeah.
That the assault, but he's the one that really pushed it to the fore in this latest moderation.
Yep.
And man, they ran away with it, so everyone bought them.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating when you sit there and you think about all the little things that they're doing just to violate our rights. It's like, come on.
But it's like an engine, and you're just throwing little tidbits of sand in it every once in a while until finally it's going to seize up on you and just stop working.
Yeah.
Well, the bureaucracy's got to pay for themselves. It's not like the ATF's going to say, "Oh, well, the world's safe now, we'll go away."
No.
They'll say, "Oh, we better go up to Idaho. There's a guy over there with a hacksaw. I'll bet we could get in his front door."
Yeah.
So what did you think about HB 60? Were you here when they passed that?
HB 60, which one was that?
So that allows us to conceal carry without a permit.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's an outstanding thing. Well, the reality is, if you're going to carry a gun, cool. I'm 100% down for you. Just do me a favor, go get some training. I'd like it if you train with me. If you don't train with me, train with somebody else. Go train with Mal. Go train. There's plenty of people out there that can get you some good fundamental training to get you squared away enough to carry a gun.
I still want you to get your concealed carry permit just for the log.
Yeah.
Just so that when they say, "Oh, we're going to do away with this," and someone can slide the big old binder over, there's 50,000 names in here. Do you want all 50,000 people pissed at you?
Yeah.
Oh, I better not sign that.
Yeah, the other piece of that too is, if having a concealed carry permit, and this is one of the funny things that we deal with all the time at BPMF at the training center, is if you actually read the codified law, you can concealed carry in any area that's open to the public under constitutional carry. However, if you want to go into a grocery store, you have to have permission from the ownership. You want to walk into a private business, you have to have permission from ownership to walk in there under constitutional
Now, wait
carry.
a second. Do they have to explicitly state no firearms in this location, or is permission just assumed if there's no sign?
Legally, you have to have permission from the ownership. So, get a permit. You can go wherever you want, unless it's federal property. So, your post office is still out of bounds. And it took Ron and I almost 9 months of going through all the codified law to find all the little nuances of all that. And it was like, wow, somebody should be putting this out. So all you CCW instructors, read that, go figure it out.
Yeah.
So give us some examples of these nuances that were buried underneath the legislation of the bureaucracy.
So I'm walking down the street and I decide I want to walk into an ice cream shop to get an ice cream. I'm constitutionally carrying. I have to have permission from that business owner to walk in with a concealed weapon on my person into that business.
Can it be verbal, a head nod, or does it have to be a written contract?
The codified law doesn't specify that.
If you can find out who the owner of the ice cream shop up there is,
Yeah.
I don't imagine you could pop your head in and one of them teen girls can imagine asking them.
Yeah.
They would say, how many scoops of M&Ms do you want with that?
Yeah.
You know.
And it's literally that silly.
The CCW authorizes you.
Yep. Good to
in
go.
there, and then you're just not allowed on federal property or anywhere that's labeled.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can't walk into a courthouse, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you can't walk into on any federal property. So your U.S. Post Office, your military bases, anything that's deemed as federal property. And then there was some question too whether BLM land could constitute.
Now
federal
Obama cleared us to carry on BLM land.
Yeah.
So Obama, the great hater of guns, actually gave us a little bit of, bear defense.
And in our wonderful state, there's so much BLM land that
Again, it'd be quicker to label what's not BLM.
Yeah.
If I had to hang signs, I know what I'd want to hang.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless I wanted job longevity.
Yeah, exactly. So when you start looking at it from that perspective, dude, it costs you like what is the average right now for a concealed carry permit class is $50, and then it's like $55 to get all the state paperwork all filed and everything else. I'm like $110 for 5 years, done.
It's quick and easy. And then I think it's $20 to renew it every 5 years. They send you an email or a letter.
Yeah.
You stand in front of a white wall, snap a selfie.
Yeah.
And send it
done.
to them, and they send you a fresh one back. And it's not even pink anymore, so it's not as weird as it was, 10 years.
Well, and then statistically too, when you look at the law stats and everything else, the concealed carry permit holders across the nation commit like 0.3% of the laws.
Yeah, they're
So it's less than 1%.
yeah, they're a safe populace. They're it shows that they've done their due diligence before they do it. And just to mention, I think it's on the 8th here in Twilla County, West Brandon, Defense Sense USA. He's got a concealed carry permit class going on at his house here in Twilla. So anyone who doesn't have it, seek out that class, do it. I think his is a $45 class. So it's even $5 cheaper than the average.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, and Wes puts on a good class. Go get that class from Wes.
Yeah, he does. And then you can follow up with him and join us out for some pistol shooting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know. I enjoy training. I've been training a bit with Wes and Mallory.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I'm going to find one of your classes when I can and go to that.
Yeah, it's funny. Literally, I was at the range yesterday at 9:30, and I didn't leave till 11:30 p.m. So I was training that entire time, and that's pretty much been the entire week. I've been doing some form of training every single day this week. So
life is just a sacrifice for you.
I got a training question for both of you. I hear on the radio about this thing called the Mantis X that doesn't use bullets.
It's what it does, it allows you to test. It doesn't work for your anticipation of the fire, but you can test your trigger.
Yeah.
You can test how you're holding it. You can see if you shake. Maybe you squeeze the grip too tight. But it just, when you squeeze it, it shoots a laser and your phone records it.
Yeah. So literally the only thing that should be moving on your hand is just that finger.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you put pressure with your pinky or pressure with your thumb, it'll be able to tell with the the gyroscopic reader that it's in it, it'll tell that you twisted the gun, or if you overgripped with your support hand. It's
or
it's
if you
super
just
cool
use
tech.
too much trigger finger,
Yeah.
and you got to pull to the left or the right, or but all it does, it's just a way for you to train yourself to squeeze the trigger more efficiently.
Yeah.
And you can also train more things with it, like trigger reset. You can
Yep.
practice trigger reset with it, especially if you're doing it with your wife. I mean, you guys could really get some good training in that way,
Yeah.
where she hits that slide every time and you can learn your particular weapon system. It just won't give you regard on anticipation over a long period of time.
Yeah. And the cool thing is you can actually set up your profile on there so that it tracks. So from day one and then 3 years later, you can go back and see what you're doing if you're consistently doing the same thing over and over again. That their technology is just insane.
Everyone who has it loves it.
Yeah.
So it's just like Bluetooth to your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
wild.
Well, also you
and
set your phone up.
The camera on your phone will pick up where you're
Yeah.
hitting.
You set your phone up and your phone is the tracker.
Yeah.
So it's like your fit tracker if you're a jogger or I don't know what else they do with those.
Yeah. It's super cool tech.
It is. We got advanced stuff coming out.
Well, there's on our simulator that we have at the training center, we're using a Mantis system on our AR frames. We have an upper and a lower receiver, but there's no barrel, but there's a handguard on there. And all it does is just shoot the laser out through the Mantis 10X, I think it is. And you can sit there, fire, and then you can pull the mag, reset the mag, press as much as you want. And you can run it through all the scenarios. They actually have an IR prototype that we tested for them. And that thing is super, super cool. Definitely can't wait for that to come out next year.
It's a lot cheaper than 5.56 too.
Oh, yeah. It's way cheaper than 5.56. And then they have ones that will actually shoot a red laser. So it actually works with our simulator. So we just put the red laser in, and now you can go through our force simulator to figure out, okay, am I making a good shot? Am I getting good clean hits? Am I making good sound decision making and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. How's your time? How's your time from for target recognition and engagement? I went down to Fort Huachuca when my brother was down there and got to try out their pneumatic range they had.
Yeah.
And that was cool, except like the 240B, I know how much it weighs. But then when they have a airline that's wrapped in a spring up to almost all the way out to the muzzle on the front of it weighs a lot more. And that is just, or even the M16 they had there, it's just a lot heavier. So it kind of pulled me out of
out of reality.
It's a lot
felt
less
real good.
realistic.
Yeah, it was heavier than hell. That 240B's heavy by itself, Although I never shot that when I was in. I was just M60 back then.
Yeah.
But with that extra air line on the front, and it's a heavy hose.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's all military grade, so it's going to take all kinds of abuse, because the 18-year-old 11 Bravo, they're going to wreck everything.
yeah, they're probably worried he'll chew on it. He might get hungry.
It's so true.
Seriously. So, and they, not only is it a thick regular air hose, the what is it, the 1/2-inch air hose, but it's wrapped in a metal spring that's wrapped in electrical tape, and
It's not something you'd actually expect to be carrying around in a combat situation. I know.
It made the front of that weapon so heavy. I mean, it was an actual 240B that they put a mechanism in. So when you squeeze the trigger, it'd give you a pump to the back with the compressed air, and it was a cool system, but I sure wish they would have figured out how to bring the air in some way that it didn't pull you out of it. But then again, if I'm going to train, I'd rather train with something heavy and then have to fight with something light.
Oh yeah, that's absolute. Well, there's a system that we tried in Las Vegas at SHOT Show this year. It's a virtual system where you put on Oculus headset, And when you pick up the gun, you can see it in your hands.
Oh yeah.
So they can go, okay, now you have a double feed. Lock, rip, wrap, load, and
Really?
now it's good to go.
How is that when you don't have the texture in your hands?
It's actually, you actually
or
hold on.
there's like a
You actually hold on to an actual AR.
like a kind of like a red gun, you know, or something, you know, or an actual AR,
Yeah.
but it'll simulate the double feed. So
Yep.
you got to do sports on it and all.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Dude, super, super cool
It's going
tech.
to make training so cheap. I mean, it's going to
Yeah.
be expensive right out the gate.
Oh, it's $150,000 for that.
Yeah,
system.
but it's over the long term.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be, and it's only going to get cheaper. I mean, I've
Oh,
got
yeah.
2 Oculuses in this house, you
Yeah.
know, so it's just the program.
Yeah.
It's gonna
I remember in the military they had this thing called miles gear, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they still have it.
Now
Yeah, it's still being used.
it takes the front. They put this laser device right on the front of your weapon.
Yeah.
and it's not that much heavier, but it is. It's a little heavier.
Yeah.
It shoots off blanks, but it's
Yeah.
not any heavier than an IR indicator for your night vision.
Yeah.
You know, but they put blanks on it. The worst part about miles is you got to clean the gun after,
Yeah. Oh, dude.
and blanks foul your gun up something fierce.
Yeah. And having that blank adapter on there, dude, it just
Yeah.
plugs. Everything just winds up right by the gas block. It's like, oh.
And it's crazy that they didn't invent something that would bleed some gas or some carbon off the side, because it shoots that up the gas
Yeah.
block. And you find yourself after so long, they have to send it in to get it torn apart
Yeah.
and have the gas return
Yeah.
replaced.
I've seen guys who was like, dude, just replace the gas tube. It ain't even worth trying to
Yeah.
clean it.
Yeah. Get rid of it. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. Those were good times, though. I had fun with that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Miles was always a fun time. But now, my favorite is simunitions.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down. My favorite, swap your barrel out. And you're shooting soap at each other. So
Yeah.
it washes out and it cleans your socks at the same time.
Well, they've actually got new rounds now that UTM is putting out that you can run in your gun. You just have to have a different magazine, and then obviously you got to make sure that that's the only.
That's the one thing I liked about the old system is you swapped the barrel and it was gold.
Yeah.
So that, you know, everyone could do a quick spot check and
Yeah.
you made sure. But for ARs, a lot of departments aren't buying AR uppers
Yeah.
fitted with it and that, you know.
Yeah, or you get a standard M4 upper. You know, and I don't know an agency that's running just a standard one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, with it still has an F front sight post on it and everything else. It's like, yeah, that's like old tech. Nobody.
Yeah. you gotta go dig around the swamps in Vietnam and then clean
Yeah.
them off now.
Yeah.
No one runs a standard or
No.
an A1 or even A2 model
Yeah.
on any of that.
Yeah, it's crazy, and there's so much cool stuff that's coming out for all the simulated training. Like there's a laser system that we looked at that you literally would just, like the miles gear, you would just put the sensors on you, and then you can dial in the pinpoint accuracy, or you can dial it so that it's like 5-inch diameter accuracy. So all I got to do is get close to that sensor.
Yeah, you running a shotgun. Hey,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, if you're running a shotty, if you're running a pistol, if you're running a rifle, or you're running like a bolt action or something like that, literally they can get it down to it's a pinpoint that you've got to be able to hit that little sensor. And I'm like, that is the coolest tech out there. So the problem that they can't mimic is bullet drop.
Well, yeah. They could always say that now. There's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
a math whiz right now writing up a program so that it
Yeah.
calculates it on the other side.
Yeah, you're running a 147 grain bullet that's moving at 2,980 feet per second. It's coming out of an 18-inch barrel with this suppressor on it.
It measures how much the laser is lost and compensates for distance at that time. And then,
Yeah.
The best will be that it connects to your iPhone and the weather app to know what speed the wind is going and what direction.
They've got sites to do that already.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll bet you pretty soon our infantrymen in the Army and the Marines will be issued an iPhone or a cell phone
Yep.
to carry on functions.
Yep.
It'll be a part of the future package.
So you can see it with the special operations guys already. With they've got phones down here.
Yep.
Literally, they can turn their phones on. The talk can actually sit there Okay, let's look at Dave's phone. Okay, yeah, this is what he's seeing. Okay.
It'll be the future. It's trying to close down.
Can't have that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's something we're not using for the rest of the night. But you're going to see in the future. I mean, I'm surprised law enforcement doesn't use it yet, because I'll bet a cell phone is cheaper than any. Okay, it's not cheaper than a body cam.
Right.
It's cheaper than the body cams provided to law enforcement.
Yes.
Where an iPhone, they can plug it in and they can have all their officers on probably a 2-hour rollover delay unless they select to keep that stuff, and just recording the whole time. Now, I can understand why that would, you'd rather have a body cam you can turn on and off, because, you pull into the 7-Eleven to grab a donut and maybe relieve yourself. You don't want the body cam rolling, but it's so much cheaper. But I could see it as blue and red indicators on our forces in the future.
Yeah.
And a TOC can roll up, stand up the 5G tower on their 113 and hit the go switch and supply that however wide radius with
well, it's the amount of tech that's coming out nowadays. I mean, literally, there's magazines that will tell you how many rounds are left in it. If you're running an AR, it can literally count the rounds. It's literally, we're this close to Halo.
Yeah, where you got a little counter screen on top.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then there's, like, I'm starting to experiment now because of where I live with thermal and scoping elk, scoping coyotes, scoping deer, scoping the jackrabbits and all that stuff. We've got a bunch of skunks and everything in the area. So, just trying to figure out, okay, what's this look like under the glass and all that stuff. And it's funny because, like, when on Halo, if you go, it's switching to thermal, that we're not far from that technology where literally it's just, a lens just pops up and now we're moving on.
Yeah.
And I'm betting within the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to have that technology where it's literally just a lens in front of you.
Yeah. Well, we had the AMPVS 14 on our, and you just turn a dial and boop, right. You're at night vision.
Yeah.
They have thermal scopes that operated a lot of the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming. It's on us.
Oh yeah. And, for law enforcement to be able to use that same technology, it would help them so much, especially, doing the things that I was doing. If you got to do an open field movement for law enforcement, it's so rare that they do that.
Yeah.
But for them to actually be able to go, okay, through thermal, I can see that whole area is clear. Let's go ahead and advance the team.
Through thermal. And then you got to link up with their cell phone so you know who's who.
Yeah.
So they pop up. All your hotspots pop up with little blues.
Yep.
And we don't know what that is,
Yeah.
And who's there. Hey, Anderson, take 10 steps to your left.
Yeah.
Well, what's an open field movement? Can you explain that?
So open field movement would be an open area where there's no position of advantage or position of cover. So it's basically, imagine like a football field out in the middle of someplace and you've got to get across it.
Gotcha.
So if you're looking at that, you're going, crap, how am I going to get 10 meat eaters to go over and get this fugitive that we think ran across here, or the dog's indicating that they ran across here? Okay, how do we get all these guys across here so that nobody knows that we're actually still here? So you got to scan the area. A lot of times we were using our airships to just come down and look over it with IR for us to see where the hot spots are and tell us, okay, you got a hot spot over in this corner, you got a hot spot over in this corner. And, we'd send an element over to go check that corner. It'd turn out to be a dog that's sleeping there or something, and then move on. Or, hey, guess what? Suspect, we got him.
Yeah. Well, 40 years ago, they would get the whole police force to get in a line and walk across it. And now with the technology, you got FLIR, you could have guys on the ground with thermals.
Yep.
I mean, you just, it saves time.
It's faster, it's safer. I mean, using that type of tech is so much better for especially the law enforcement community. And I know that tech is just going to continue to expand.
It is. Yeah. I mean,
Is there a way around that thermal imaging?
You can use a series of tarps as long as you can keep your body heat reflected back in engines. I mean, some Marines that worked on a lab unit said they'd figured out that you use the Mylar blankets with a tarp and then wool over top of that.
Yeah.
You could do it. And I'm sure you could, but if, let's say you just got done doing some bad stuff in a bad area with some, good people and hurt them.
Yeah.
And you're off and running. You don't have Mylar and tarp and a wool blanket with you.
Right.
So the only real way to get around it is get inside a structure that'll hide you, get in the middle of it. But,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that'll be interesting technology to put on some drones and robots to
that's
enforce
coming.
some fantastic
I like
new
how
laws.
you say that like that's future tense.
There's no way to get it. We're so screwed
That
in
stuff's
America.
there.
I mean, at least like there used to be a chance when, we could say we can hold our own as citizens. But man, the way you guys talk about this new technology coming out, I'm thinking, man, I'm going to have to just give 100% of my taxes and not complain about it.
Well, and the reality is like a lot of the fugitives that we found, it was literally, we had fake accounts and everything else. So we'd send them a Facebook friend request. And of course, if it's a guy, we send.
It's
some hot.
I'll
hot
bet
gal
you were
and
the
everything.
cutest number on the planet.
Dude, it was so simple. It's like, hey, you want to link up, or you want to go hook up? And,
I'm an innocent girl. I like wearing bikinis to the movie theater.
I heard you got bump stop.
Yeah. And it's either that or all I needed was a phone number, and then 3 warrants later, guess what? All I got to do is I could literally turn on your speaker and I could listen to what's going on, or I could pinpoint within 3 meters where your phone's at.
Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah. Well, let's face it, criminals sometimes pull off some ingenious stuff.
Oh yeah.
But on the fly, they're retarded.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't catch the smart ones.
no. What was that one? I think it was in New Jersey where they had a tagger problem. So they put out a competition for the best tagging.
Oh man.
Invited them down and got all of them all at once.
Well played.
And granted, it's just probably misdemeanor, fines or whatever. But those guys probably thought twice before they, bought spray paint. But they also got their names on record. And then taggers have
their mark,
that's theirs, the way they paint. And I worked in rail for a while, and some of them are impressive.
Yes.
Some of them with a can of black and a can of white can paint you some Picasso level shit.
Yeah.
But they all kind of had their own signature, and they got them all. Like all of them in this one town. There's something like 20 of them. And I remember I heard the story. I fell out of my chair laughing, but I was like, these guys are dumb.
Yeah.
Why would and I swear it was something crazy. Like it couldn't have been, it wasn't as bad as like if the FOP put on a tagging, but it was a state tied organization. You had to know it was coming.
Yeah. Well, we ended up doing one of our like little, just, hey, we got to go hook somebody up. We ain't got enough. Let's go to the warrant file, see what we got. The guy had $50,000 warrant for tagging, for graffiti.
How do you get that big on tagging?
He had over $300,000 in damages.
Was there anything he didn't paint?
Literally, when we walked into his room, it was like the ceiling, the walls, everything was all tagged.
It was like Michelangelo.
Oh yeah,
it had a wet dream in
Oh
it.
yeah, it was just insane. But
Where do people find the free time to do stupid crap like that? I don't know. But who am I to say it's
how Banksy got his start?
Yeah,
was doing public painting.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of mural artists. That's how they started, was tagging a wall.
And those things I appreciate. If you're an artist that can do that, put yourself out there, get hired, do it.
Yeah.
Don't go painting some poor guy's house. He's trying to rent out his apartment building.
He's trying to live.
Yeah, he's got to do it with, George Floyd on the side of it that lightning's going to hit because, God agrees.
I know I go to Sao Paulo, Brazil a lot. And the whole city is tagged.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the whole freaking city.
And the thing is the taggers are the gray area between the violent criminals and they're the gray area. They're the ones that kind of are the go between. They're not often violent, but sometimes they bleed over.
Yeah.
But they're not the little petty criminals. When I say petty criminals, I don't mean the burglars.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the stick up artists. They're kind
the
of
shooters.
the gray
They're
area. They're the guys where you find leads to the others.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was in violent crimes, our taggers were literally, it's like, okay, well, there's a new tagger out. Let's go see if we can figure out who it is. And literally you go through and you go, okay, well, that's got kind of this mark to it. This has got this kind of swing to it. This has got this. Okay, well, let's look at this guy's tags. Okay. I'll bet you it's his brother.
Yeah. His brother or this neighborhood.
Yeah. Or somebody associated with him.
Because gangs have their own tagging. That,
Yeah, and they all have their own little style, and literally there were so many cases that we were able to build and break up a bunch of crews just because of the tagging, and that's how the whole case started, just because of a stupid tag.
Yep. That's their billboard.
Yeah.
Hey, come shop at, Dickheads or Us. Oh, well, we went shopping there and we bought all the dickheads and now they're all in our little house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tagging is a big deal around here too, I guess, for Tooele standards. But what is someone like you or like you or me supposed to do if we see someone tagging? Or how far can a civilian actually go if they see that kind of
absolutely nothing?
Yeah, literally the kid could sit there and give you the finger and go, pound sand. What are you going to do?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because literally by the time you get on the phone and call 911,
you
can look at you and can see that you called 911. They're going to go, all right, I'm out.
You can't make a citizen arrest.
Oh God, no.
Legally you can.
You can, but why would you?
It's not worth it.
Right.
Why would you? Okay, so we did have a tagger here in town. I've actually been trying to get a hold of him for work that a business that I know wants done. He got
so he can get some legit work.
Yeah, because he does. But all he was painting, those concrete manhole, what's underneath them, the concrete kind of sump. There's a couple of them that's been sitting in fields here in Tooele since time immemorial. I think Jesus was a private when they poured these manholes. And so he tagged he never hit a building. I don't consider that property damage. If the city forgot they bought these things and moved on to other stuff.
Yeah.
But he got popped and he got a fine for it. And if you're out there, give me a call. I got some work for you.
Or maybe if you got arrested, you can work off your community service.
Yeah, seriously. I know it's a local business. They want some art done. They want to freshen up their business. So,
yeah.
But something like that. Now, if I saw someone painting like a friend's fence, like say I drove by and someone's painting your fence, one, I would call you.
Yeah.
I'd call as a property or even, a neighbor, someone I don't know, I might yell at him, run him off, call the police, just stand there, but I'm not putting hands on.
No.
The only way I am going to go, an escalation of force is if somebody is physically in danger.
Yeah. Well, and the hard part with that too is the majority of your taggers are all minors.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then, literally this is the headline: adult beats up kid spray painting.
Yeah. Think of Zimmerman.
Yeah.
I mean, picture him. How's his life going right now?
Yeah.
His wife left him. He's probably a schizomaniac who's recording videos in his basement by now.
Yeah.
I don't know what would be worse. Like if Patricia saw the dude tagging, she'd be like, would she leave me if I didn't go get him? Or would she leave me if I did? I mean, if you think about it, when property damage happens and you don't stand your ground
if it's your house.
Yeah.
If it's your house, like if I saw someone painting the side of my house, I'll go out. I'm not going to go out and shoot him because, I'm afraid that a lot of juries might consider him a lot more important than any piece of siding or brick, you know. But I'll go out and yell at him and run him off. If I could get your wife to come yell at him, that's even better. They might limp away from that.
No, man. I'd be scared if it was her. But yeah, we have a tagging problem here in Tooele. I've noticed that even on our street, people are getting tagged. What can you do about it? That's because you don't want your city to end up looking like São Paulo, Brazil.
Yeah,
it's pretty sad.
Well, again, it goes right back to have the dad be in the house.
Yep.
Have both parents teaching the respect for other people and other people's property, other people's lives. Mm-hmm. You know, and once you start getting that, and you start looking at, hey, let's be respectful to each other and all that kind of stuff, then you start to realize, hey, we're actually building a better community now.
It's all about community.
Yeah,
it is 100%. You look at these school shooters that everyone freaks out about, and everyone's trying to piece together, what is it? Is it the SSRIs or they can't get a date? They all have one thing in common, and that's a broken parental household.
Yep.
That's the one thing that occurs across the board. Do I want the state to come down hard on people and force them to stay married? No. But do I want maybe our schools to maybe take time from teaching the difference between cis and bi and whatever, and say, this is your responsibility as a human being to your community.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, just be a parent in the household.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and
don't stick your dick in something you're not going to raise the kid with.
Yeah.
Period.
Are you willing to make a lifelong commitment to this person for your one night stand? Because that could be the result.
That's what it is. Yeah.
It could be the result. Even if it's just a one night stand, it could turn into, this is now altering 3 lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Seriously. Well, and shockwaves, it alters more than just 3. Yours, hers, the kids, the person the kid may abuse or respect on down the line.
Yeah. Well, and statistically, it's been proven that kids that grow up in single family or single parent homes, they start literally, it's, what is it, like 85% chance that they're going to be involved in some type of criminal activity?
Well, we'll go through the numbers. 60% greater chance of violent history. It's 90% greater chance of, and this is a note to a couple of members of the show, suicide.
Oh yeah.
It's 90% chance of drug use. Everything goes up.
Yeah, and the chances of being trafficked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Boys and girls.
Yeah. A step parent is the most dangerous thing for your child.
Yeah. And it's just, literally to see that kind of stuff happening, like literally when we first moved here, we're driving down the street and my wife's like, will you just relax? I'm like, no, there's a dope deal that just happened over there. There's a freaking prankster over there. There's a guy over here that's looking to sell something, and that gal looks like she's a hooker.
When did you leave California?
2015.
Okay. So could you imagine walking through San Francisco now?
Oh,
you'd probably look like a cat on a tin roof with a screen door.
Oh yeah. I can't even go into cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles. It'd be hard. It's hard for me to even go back to San Jose now.
I went up to Coos Bay, Oregon, and it's like zombie apocalypse movie. Because if you're a meth head or an addict, you look like a zombie to me.
Yeah.
The way you shuffle and wander, and you feel like, and I'm like, am I in a zombie movie?
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah. Like my mom, she lives up on the outskirts of Portland. We went up there last year to go visit. Just in pre-COVID, there was hardly any graffiti, homeless campus or anything like that. As soon as we got off the airport property, it's literally just tagging and all kinds of different stuff, from the tagging, homeless encampments, garbage, literally the whole way through the entire town of Portland, and we had to go from literally one end of Portland all the way through to the other end. And it's just like, when did all this happen?
Yeah.
And it's all from the COVID stuff.
Where's the belt route? Well, that and the progressives have an idea in their mind that if they think if they allow the drug users to that they'll burn themselves through the drug use and come out the other side a better person. And homeless is exploding. All the ODs and all that. Yeah. And I don't know, but we're coming up on an hour. Will you plug your businesses again? Tell everyone how to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
Tell us about the cool tactical trainings you have available. What do you have coming up next?
We have so much cool stuff. Okay, so on the Nielsen training stuff, so it's Nielsen, Nielsen training.com. With that, you can go, you can literally do everything from I've never touched a gun all the way to special operations, military, and law enforcement. Mallory's favorite class is vehicle tactics class that I teach.
She talks about it every time I talk to her.
Is that where you like get to shoot out of the vehicle or something like that?
Shoot out of the
vehicle, in the vehicle, out of the underneath the vehicle, all around the vehicle, and then we do a half a day of ballistic labs. You actually shoot into the vehicle to see what's going to happen with bullets, and it's funny because people think, oh, the bullet's just going to go straight through. No. It's rare that it actually goes perfectly straight through.
I mean, unless that thing's a 12 gauge slug or a 50 cal, it's gonna. Yeah.
Well, literally, we've had one where a 50 cal went in by the headlight, rode along the interior frame, hit a piece of the door support, went about a 45-degree angle from the rear of the front door support, and skipped across, went into the other side passenger seat, hit the panel just right where it actually came out the opposite tail light.
Sound like you were telling me about JFK driving through Dallas there.
Yeah, dude. If I wasn't there, I'd be like, that never happened.
Oh, we used to do tests with drywall, and you'd set drywall up, just build a drywall wall, just like this thing here next to me.
Yeah.
And you put balloons on the end of it, just tape them up.
Yeah.
And you could stand almost anywhere up to 45 degrees and shoot it. And a 5.56 will hit that drywall, bounce out about 3 to 6 inches, and just go straight down it.
Yep.
And that's why you don't stand next to damn walls when you're getting shot at.
You don't run the walls.
And that's just drywall.
Yeah.
And it'll take a 5.56, a 9mm.
Yeah.
Well, when you're in an active shooting environment, do you want to be close to the ground or do you want to be just raised above,
I don't want to be anywhere near the ground. I want to be running.
Yeah. If you're going to engage an active shooter,
not engage, but you're taking cover. Like there's some scenarios in the military where they tell you, look, if you're going to be avoiding shrapnel from a grenade, you want to be all the way face down on the ground. If you're taking bullets, you want to be kind of like, you don't want to be face down all the way to the ground because you're going to get schwacked.
The bank robbery in L.A., 1997.
Oh, yeah. Hollywood.
Literally the way that they stopped him, MP5 under the ground, skipped around into his ankle and put one into his face.
Yep.
Direct from the shooter. So I don't want to be anywhere near the ground, laying on the ground if I have bullets flying anywhere, especially if I'm in an urban environment, because there's too many things that bullets can skip off of, or at least I can get fragged on.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And your other business.
So my other business is BPMFinc.com.
BPMF?
Yep.
Say that in one breath.
Yeah, it's funny because the amount of, hey, what does BPMF stand for? I think we've come up with about 300 different combinations of what it actually stands for. But literally we do everything from, hey, I just bought a brand new gun. I don't even know how to make sure it's safe. Like I had a couple of gals come in the other day where we just spent 3 hours just going over, this is the trigger, this is the trigger guard, this is the slide, this is the slide release, this is how you lock the slide back, this is how you load a magazine, this is how you send the slide forward, this is your front sight, this is your rear sight, this is how you align your sights. Simple little things like that I just take for granted.
The back to basics.
Yeah. And because they'd never been around a firearm before. And you ladies out there, you're the number one consumer right now for firearms and for firearms training. So I think it's like 60% right now of what I'm getting are females.
And
new gun
that
owners.
makes me happy.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because
let's
you know
get them
what?
trained up.
I would like to see the assault statistics plummet.
Oh yeah,
Like go down to zero,
yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah. Especially Salt Lake County. I would love
Yeah.
to. I'd
How
love
would
to
it
see
be?
that just diminish completely.
Yeah. How would it be if we didn't have to hear about those horror stories again?
Yeah.
You know?
This is the kind of stuff I wish we were teaching in high school for our teenagers.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah. Yeah, me too. All right. Before we cut you loose, what is the next high speed class you got coming up? What can people sign up for if they want to jump on today?
The biggest class that I've got coming up is my pistol manipulations class. That's coming up on Saturday the 8th, so a week from tomorrow. That there was a SEAL Team 3 guy that went through the class. He's like, dude, that was the hardest class that I've ever done. And it wasn't because it was physically challenging. It was because it was mentally challenging. And I'm like, cool, dude, that's exactly what it is. And literally that course was set up because one of my buddies took it through and through in his left arm. And he's like, I don't know how I would shoot. I'm like, okay, I'm going to come up with a class on how to do
So
that.
it's an offhand, all of it.
It's a strong hand, support hand, all malfunction clearing. And people come out of that and literally they are so fast, like literally a type 3 malfunction, so a double feed, they're clearing in less than a second.
With one hand or both hands?
With 2 hands.
Okay.
With one hand, they're generally doing it about 3
Still,
seconds.
just learning how to do that with one hand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like doing math underwater.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's why the Team 3 guy was like, dude, that was so
That's a
hard
tough
because
one.
you have to constantly think about where's my muzzle, where's my finger at, who's next to me,
What's
going
going to
on.
hold my pistol
Yep.
while I rip the magazine out?
Yep.
that would be something I'd be interested in.
Oh yeah, dude, come out April 8th out at the farm. So for you guys, it's actually a lot closer than people in Utah County.
Yeah.
But literally for a $250 class, and we only burn up 300 rounds. And it is so challenging, and literally hands down, people think they say that's one of their favorite class. And then I also do that for rifles too. So for an AR-15, same type of thing. You're doing it all single-handedly.
All right. Everyone, Todd Nielsen, thanks for coming on.
bet.
So his businesses, again, and these will be in the show notes. So you've got Nielsen Training and Consulting. Website, it's nielsentraining.com.
Yep.
We'll just have a hyperlink in there, and the BPMF.com. And again, we'll have a hyperlink in there. I like this BPMF because it seems like it's kind of a well-rounded whole,
Yeah.
like say, your family, like
Yep.
brothers, sisters, everything. Want to build that community.
Yep.
Or your neighbors. You want to build that community. This is a way to go and access aid with that. And it may not be all shooting. Shooting may not be something you need.
The funny part is the shooting portion of the stuff that goes on at BPMF is only about 10% of what's happening.
Yeah. The fitness training, the health,
Yeah.
Now, big one, emergency preparedness. That is huge. That's something everyone needs to,
Yeah.
look into now. I mean, there's resources online, there's free stuff, but if you want to get the advanced stuff, seeking first aid training, things
Yeah.
like that. And I noticed you just mentioned on your Facebook page about some first aid training that just went on.
Yeah, we have a bunch of first aid stuff that we do. We have actually on paramedics, active paramedics right now that they are in the field, and then they come and teach our first aid classes. I'm putting together kind of a dirt medicine course that I'm going to teach. There's no certification on it. It's just from all the training and the experience that I have. And I'm going to be working with a first aid CPR instructor specifically to see if we can actually turn it into a certified course. But the amount of knowledge of how to apply a tourniquet, how to put on a compression dressing, and literally most of our courses, we actually have legit paramedics coming out to our courses that are actually acting as our staff to be there in case there's a problem. And we have people go down all the time from cold injuries, from dehydration, especially in the summertime. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I mean, we've stuffed so many people in air conditioned cars. It's like, oh, hey, you need to go sit down. Well, no, I'm fine. I'm like, yeah, you're about 30 seconds from passing out. Why don't you go sit down for a minute?
You quit sweating. So,
yeah. It's too late for that.
Yeah. No, and that's good. And also, with you having paramedics come down and train, you're building more community.
Yep. And then we do all kinds of stuff behind the scenes that we don't really talk about. We have a peer support group at BPMF for all of our first responders. I'm working on a bunch of different programs for our local first responders in CQB, home defense, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that's in the works that we haven't posted up just yet. So,
perfect.
Yeah, so it's constantly be changed. Just make sure you check out the websites, and all of our socials are on there too, so that if you wanted to find us on socials, you can find us there too.
And that's a pretty nice website too. You go to bpmfinc.com.
Yep.
And it's pretty sharp, I have to admit.
Yeah. And also, it kind of sounds like if you've got a problem you want to find some training for, give him a call. Sounds like he's open to, figuring out a solution.
I do a lot of privates. I had one guy that I spent 6 hours just going through his house and how he could work his way through his house and all the different weapon systems that he had and everything else. So do all that kind of stuff too.
Very good. All right, everyone.
All right.
Todd Nielsen. Let's thank him for coming on. Get on there, check out his websites, go to the show notes, look at him. One last time, BPMF Inc. It's Bravo Papa Mike Foxtrot Incorporated.com, inc.com. And we've also got Nielsen Training and Consulting. That's Nielsen Training and Consulting.com. Or NelsonTraining.com is the website. But if you punch in Nielsen Training,
It'll pop up.
Yeah, it'll pop up. But yeah, go check them out, see what classes are coming up. And everyone knows that I'm a proponent of, getting your ass trained.
Yes.
You want to be proficient.
Yep.
All right, everyone, we'll be back on. Well, I'm going to walk them out, and we've got Holly and Ty, one of our county reps, coming in next. They're going to give us a little chat about the funness. And until then, Dave will entertain you.
Actually, I'm going to take a bathroom break too.
Dave's going to take the
You're going to be all by yourself, everybody.
I wish I had some elevator music.
All by myself.